So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It is a cold and blustery day, and I just can't get warm yet this winter. I don't think I had a chance to kind of acclimate to the colder temperatures. You know, we had like 60 degrees and sunny to just like boom, and it was cold. And we got a little bit of snow last night, not much. Pushing over this locust tree here. These things are dead. They go everywhere. But yeah, we had a little bit of snow last night, but the wind was the real kicker right there. We had a lot of wind. It's still windy right now. But the good news is we have fire starter available again. A lot of people are asking about that. We had it just a couple weeks ago and it sold out pretty quickly, but we have a bunch ready. And I also got some from, I met with Dean last week. So this will definitely be it until after the first of the year. We have 2 for $25, the 1.75 pound bags, the 4 pound bags. My top glass here is covered with ice. You don't realize how important that is until you can't see out the top. But yeah, the 2 for $25, 4 pounders. We've got 5 for $60, which I think will be a good deal because shipping's not that much on it at all. And we have the 10 for 20 or 10 for 120. So if you're looking for a really good quality fire starter and a really good gift idea for anyone that burns wood, there you go. You could buy a box of 10 and be all set. Ugh. That locust, that stuff is, man, it looks like it's, if that was any other tree in that condition, it'd just fall right apart. But that locust stays pretty strong. But yeah, fire starter back in stock. There'll be a link in the description, pinned comment as well. And you'll get it in plenty of time for Christmas. We've been burning non-stop there in the building. It's cold. I guess it's not super cold. It's the dang wind that makes it so bad. Like today, it's probably in the 20s right now. You know, it gets into the teens at night. But it's that wind. Could be worse. Could live in Erie, Pennsylvania. They're getting, I think they're getting more of that lake effect snow right now. I figured I'd come out here because one, I have a heated cab, and 2, this will make it a lot easier in the spring. All I'm doing here is kind of expanding this big food plot a little bit, cleaning up some dead trees and some blowdowns, and in the spring I might even do like a frost seeding out there in the food plot, maybe like a clover for the spring, I don't know. But I really like the winter rye for late fall, early winter. It looks nice, the deer seem to love it. I like it a lot. But this video, it's going to take us all over the place here because 2 states at least. Because tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, I'm going to have to look at the weather, but tomorrow I'm going, I think I'm going to go down to the cabin. It's going to be cold. But Saturday would be the last day of deer season down there. And I got a buck up here. So my buddy Tim and I were talking, and I think we may go down there tomorrow and hunt in the afternoon, and then Saturday morning as well. We'll just have to see. I'd like to get down there. I know they got more snow than we did here. I always wanted to get down there right after a snowfall. I haven't hit it just right yet because I haven't been able to figure out the deer yet, you know? They're everywhere down there, but there's tracks just going everywhere. I haven't been able to figure out like any method to their madness, like where they're coming and where they're going. There's just deer tracks everywhere. Maybe that's just the way it is, but you would think there's certain places where they kind of come onto our property and they exit, and where they bed down and stuff like that, but I don't have that figured out yet. Now here at home, I got it figured out pretty good because I've basically been hunting here for, my goodness, over 40 years. Not on this property right here, but on my mom's, just down over the hill. I was texting with a friend last night. Here in Pennsylvania, we have a antler restriction. So the buck have to have 3 points on one side, not counting, this is in our area, not counting the brow tine to be a legal deer. And there was this guy, Gary Alt, I don't know if he's still around. He was a biologist with the Game Commission, and he came up with this antler restriction idea years ago. It was probably 25 years ago. And, you know, all areas are different, but there was a lot of controversy. I remember those first couple years because, like, when we were young, you would just see a buck. No one cared about, like, scoring deer or anything like that. That really wasn't a thing back then. You'd see a buck, you'd shoot the buck, you were happy with the buck. Well, then all of a sudden you had to try to count points, which is harder to do than it seems. You know, it's not that easy to do. But there's all kind of controversy over this for years. Guys arguing about how good it's going to be for the herd, and we're going to see all these big buck and all this stuff. I don't think it did anything. That's my opinion. There are bigger buck today after like 25, 30 years. But I think that's just because there's probably 20% of the people hunt around here than used to. You know, back in the day, there were hunters. I mean, there were hunters on every ridge and in every valley. And it's just not like that anymore. So the deer have a chance to get a little older, get a little bigger, and we're seeing bigger bucks. Like I said, I'm not a biologist. I'm just going by what I saw. The one thing, and I archery hunt, not as much as I'd like to. I'm always busy that time of year. But one thing that I don't understand about had to move a camera. But the one thing that I don't understand, I mean, I understand it, but archery season here, it starts well before the rut starts, okay? Well, it's like 6 weeks long. I don't even know how long it is. But no archery hunter is going to shoot a tiny little buck, you know, at the beginning of archery season, because he's got basically months to hunt after that. He's only going to, you know, if he sees a big buck, he's going to try to get it. And I think so, a lot of the big ones are getting harvested before they have a chance to breed the does. And like I said, I'm not a biologist, but it's pretty simple to understand that, I think. I mean, I think that's something that should be considered. And I know guys like to hunt, you know, 1st of October and all that, but the rut around here, I'm getting kind of close to the mini cabin with this one. The rut around here is usually towards the end of October Wow, that other cherry tree, I just like touched it and it went down. All I'm doing is kind of making piles here, getting everything out of the way, and then I can come out here with the skid loader and the grapple on it and clean everything up. But the key is to get all these out of the ground and kind of just rough grade it up here a little bit. And not break anything. So you can kind of see what I'm trying to accomplish here. Between here and like the mini cabin over there, there's really nothing in here. A couple dead locust trees, pile of brush, big cherry that broke off years ago. I cut that one up for firewood a long time ago. But I figure if I can get all this opened up and still leave a couple of these nicer trees in here, I should still be able to get something growing in here pretty well, because the sun comes up from over at that side. You get a lot of sunlight in here for at least half the day, and it'll look nice and the wildlife will enjoy it. But anyway, we're going to speed this up for a bit. We'll see what we get done here in the next half hour, 45 minutes, and then I'll report back, hopefully from the great state of West Virginia tomorrow. We'll just have to see how it goes. If it's like 30-mile-an-hour wind or something down there, I doubt we'll go down. We'll just have to see. All right, that is pretty good for now. I'll have to take these couple out yet. We'll do that next time we come out. But you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I got everything like another 30 feet wider or something, you know? Leave a couple nice trees in here. And like I said, I'll come in here with the skid loader, grab all these piles, and later on this winter, we'll have a big fire out here. It's actually a nice day to be out here. It's kind of weird, you know, the ground's frozen, but you just skin a little bit off, and it's not like you're wallowing around in the mud or anything. It's actually pretty dry. It's kind of like freeze drying. But anyway, if things go as planned, I'll report back from West Virginia in the morning. All right, I got to run out for a little bit. I am passing through the town of Zelienople. Nice little town. Tonight, they're going to have what they call their Miracle on Main Street. A bunch of events. and a parade is in about an hour. So I'm going to scoot through here before all that happens. Right over there you got Santa's house. Well, I think it's a satellite operation. All right, it is Friday, late morning. Actually, it's almost noon. It's 11:30. I'm getting ready to head down to the cabin. I'm going to do some hunting down there this afternoon and tomorrow morning, and then head home after that. But before I go down, I want to head out here and grab a battery out of this trail camera I have over here. It's rechargeable, and I'll charge it on my way down to the cabin and replace that one down there. But it's still pretty cold. It's about 26 right now. I do think it's going to warm up a little bit over the next couple days. We'll just have to see what it does. It's kind of nice right now. You can drive anywhere or do anything you want. Everything's nice and frozen. Matter of fact, you can pull right up to the trail camera. These are the Spy Point LIT-22 rechargeable. They last quite a while, because down there at the cabin especially, it's nothing to get 50 or 75 15-second video clips a day, sometimes more than that. I don't see much happening out here today, but anyway, I'll report back from the great state of West Virginia here in a couple hours. See what happens. All right, just made it down to the cabin. There's turkeys everywhere. There's a bunch down by the road. Some of them came up this way. Some still across the road. And there's some walking up through here. Probably 50 or 60 of them. Saw a couple deer when I first pulled in as well, right over there. But it is beautiful here today. Got a fresh snow, not a whole bunch, a couple 3-4 inches. Be a nice afternoon for a walk. I'm going to go down the road and then down the other road and come in from the back of the property in through the white pine and just slowly make my way back to the cabin. I'll bring you along. Beautiful back in here today. It's crazy when you think about it, because it's about a 2.5 hour ride from home, and the cabin is located about 2.5 hours southeast of where we live, and it's about 14 or 15 degrees colder here than it is at home. It's only about 18 or 19 degrees right now. Here's some of those turkey tracks. They're walking right down the road here. Most of them went the other direction. You can see they came right down here, crossed up into there. All right, I'm just about ready to enter the white pine. Visibility's pretty rough here with all the snow on every little branch. But once you get back in there a little ways, it kind of opens up some. It's pretty tough to see anything. There's tracks everywhere, but every little twig and limb has about an inch and a half of snow on it, as you can see.
I just bounced 2 doe out. They're right over here. What happens is when you're walking through here, you can't see real well, so you're trying to look way out ahead of you. So I'm looking out there, and they were only like 25 yards away. They were bedded down, they jumped up and went that way. All right, I'm up here in the red pine now on the main trail. At least you can see a little bit here. I've been seeing more turkey. All right, it is the last day of deer season, rifle season here in West Virginia. Beautiful morning, pretty chilly. It's about 18 degrees. I'm gonna go for another walk through the white pine. I'm not gonna go all the way down to the end. You can't really see anything in there. I'm gonna come up through here, make my way back to the cabin. Did I mention it's pretty chilly today? It's cold. Cold. This isn't much better in here, but I think if I walk up here about 75 yards, it should open up a little bit. This is just beautiful in here. I just got my binoculars on a couple. There's 3 of them up there, about 150 yards. I could just see them between the trees. They went over to my right. And out here, about 75 yards, is a bunch of turkeys. They kind of drive you crazy down here because you keep seeing movement in the woods. Yeah, they're walking down through there. There's a whole bunch of them. Usually the turkeys will move out before the deer. I think just because there's so many of them, you got so many sets of eyes, and then the deer will follow, but this time the deer went out first. Once you get back in here a little bit, it gets pretty dark. Not a lot of sunlight. All right, now I'm up into the red pine. I've seen about 10 deer and probably 30 turkeys. Gonna make my way back to the cabin, warm up the truck, and then I need to head home.
All right, I made it home safe and sound. I'm sitting by the fire, but I wanted to show you this buck right here. Not a huge rack, but look at the size of that deer. He looks like he has been well fed. He's standing right in front of the cabin. This was just the other night. Now watch him scare these doe out of the way here. That thing's massive. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I do. And we'll catch you on the next one.